Yo. The Pelicans
man.
finally won a close game. Sweep the Texas two-step. Everybody here, except Jermaine. Let's talk about it.
First took away. Gas for this. Get your money's worth out.
Welcome to another episode of Pro Pels Talk. I am your host, filling in for Jermaine. I can't tell you what he's doing today. I don't know what film he's watching. I'll let him tell you that on his off time. But I got everybody here. I got Lito. I got Five. I got Chaz. I got Ross. We're live. Y'all know what to do. Let's say this early. Y'all, if y'all hit the like button now, you ain't gotta do it later. You know what I'm saying? Just do it. Just, you know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and take care of it now, and then we good. So there he is right there. There goes Jermaine, the bill collector.
Do you got a pizza as his emoji for his? The fuck is?
We don't.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah. All right, so look, we gonna get right into the conversation here. The Pelicans won 114-113. They closed their first game. Joe, shout out to you. Closed their first close game of the season. I got a few things written down, but I want to hear you guys' thoughts. I'm going to start with Ross. You had a few things that you mentioned in the chat here about the way that this game closed. Let's start with Zion closing the game itself here with the game-winning layup. What did you think about the final sequences in total and the Pelicans coming away with the win?
Yeah, I thought Zion was locked in that fourth quarter. I mean, it just seemed like he was putting constant pressure on the basket. I felt like he was giving Wemby a lot of problems. Really, whoever was put on him was giving a lot of problems. And then, we're at a point now where somebody has to make a play in crunch time, right? It's like what we've been doing isn't working. They go up, they miss the first shot. I thought Brandon had a really heady play because it seemed like there were maybe a few other options. And I need to go watch the play a few more times, but it seemed like he purposely swatted that ball off the backboard with a little extra oomph to get it out of harm's way. I may be reading too much into it, but that's just what it looked like to me. And then to get out and run it, Zion, that's a hell of a finish. I thought they were physical with him. Some of the foul calls that they missed tonight were just totally egregious. I think he would have been well within his right to get a tech, maybe even get run. And so, kudos to him for kind of keeping his emotions in check throughout that, because I thought some of those calls were ridiculous. But no, look, in crunch time, I thought we played with a different level of vigor like tonight. It seemed like we forced the issue, at least on offense, in that time Zion was in there. So I thought he really took over late.
If you guys don't know, this podcast is sponsored by the Birdsall Lawfirm, the official injury lawyers of Buku Media, located at 918 Poydras Street by the Superdome. Give them a call at 504-523-5413. If you or someone you know have been involved in an accident, be sure to mention that Buku Media sent you. I'm gonna move to Five. Ross, you mentioned something there that's important that I wrote down here to swing the chats at some point. Pause. Five. First off, nice hat. Jose, I saw you put together a tweet, and you've been consistent with your thoughts on Jose being not just simply an NBA player, but being someone who affects games and wins games. Now, I want to know a couple things here. I want to know your thoughts about the balance in regards to him not playing, I don't think at all in the first half, then coming in the second half and pretty much being the adjustments by the coaching staff to put him in the game and then shout out to you, Joe, again, and then kind of just go on with it from there, but also your consistent thoughts about him being able to change games. What's the balance there between him, figuring out what's a game for him and what's not? And what do you think about his performance tonight?
I thought if you really want to say, I think he wins you the game per se, right? Like you were struggling energy wise throughout the first half. You couldn't find anything. I mean, although Jose's 5'9", 5'10", like no matter who was being guarded on the perimeter, the Pelicans were just getting beat at the rim. Like it didn't matter who it was. And as soon as he was in the game, like that stopped. Like there was a ton of perimeter shots by the Spurs. I think just his activity warrants him to be played in certain games. Certain matchups just are good matchups for him. You can go all the way back to the Phoenix Suns CP3 team. Like, those are just good matchups for him, because if the other team has a smaller guard, it almost allows you to play Jose. And this team periodically, they don't have a natural point guard in the starting lineup, so they play so slow. You would think they'd be more efficient, like, in their half court sets, and they're not. So you almost need to play faster. He's really the only guy that truly understands that all the time, because periodically you'll see Brandon or CJ move the ball up, but that's just not them. That's why they need a guard to just set the pace. That's why I always said that Herb needs to be the initiator for this team and just tell him to go quickly. I'd rather you start playing offense at 21 than 18. I know that's only 3 seconds, but that changes the way your pace is. In the first half, AD and Joe, those dudes are wild for one, but they kept saying, like, the San Antonio Spurs pace in their half court sets was very noticeable, because it was. You can see the crispness, the way they moved the ball, the way they got it in and out of sets. Like, that's important for a team that struggles to score the ball at times. Well, and the last one, my bad. The last point, Jose is a really good. He's a good NBA player, I think. Like he deserves to be in the NBA. I mean, he ain't Devin Booker or anybody like that. But I think he deserves. There's a place for him in the NBA. Just certain matchups are good for him. It's up to the coaching staff to kind of define what those matchups are.
Brother Chaz here. Zion finished the game with 33 here, 21 attempts his first game after missing, I believe, the last 2 here with the foot contusion. CJ finished with 21, 4 and 4. Appreciate that, bro.
Thanks.
BI finishes with 19, 4 and 6, but Zion took 21 shots, and I'd say about 75% of those shots were frustrated, but their first close game, I'm not sure that it's a coincidence in who won them the game. And it was a point where I thought CJ was going to be the one to do it. And then, Zion gets the layup at the end. But Zion was the constant, even when they were down 10. Not to say Brandon had a bad game. Ross had a good point about, you don't even get to the point of Zion having that layup without Brandon's activity there. Almost a FIBA style block off the backboard there to get into transition. But in a game like this, when you look at how it went, Chaz, the final box score, shot distribution, is it clear to you, like do games like this show a clear hierarchy?
No, I no, because I mean, certain things just, even in the course of the game, it was like, okay, we just saw this guy work. I mean, we saw this motherfucker score 4 or 5 times in a row here. Oh, he's coming out. Okay. Oh, it's Brandon. Oh, all right. Oh, okay. Lost the lead, huh? All right. Okay. Oh, he's coming back in the game. Oh, okay. It's just, look, man, they all count the same, and the Spurs lost this game. I appreciate what Zion was able to do with JV. JV played well, in my opinion, also. I think Wemby is slow as the fuck. I even thought Dyson gave Wemby a lot of problems in the post. I thought Dyson gave Wemby a lot of problems. Jose did. I don't think they win this game without Jose also, to echo 5 sentiment. But it's, to me, like, come on, man. Like, I thought the Spurs should have won this game by 20 points, bro. Like, they missed 3 4 free throws in the clutch, a bunch of goofy ass rebound. Like, it was so much that went the Pelicans' way. It's just like, if y'all can't get a convincing win against these types of teams consistently, I don't know what to make of this team. Like, the worst thing you can be is in the middle. Like, I either you be bad, because at least if I'm bad, I'm gonna get some picks, something gonna happen. Or good. This team is consistently just in the middle. Like, it was just an interesting game. For a shot distribution, I thought for the most part it was good. I like the rebounding more than anything. I thought he saw.
You think the rebounding by us? I thought we got killed.
No, I'm saying for Zion specifically.
Oh, all right.
Oh, for the Pelicans, no, because again, there was a sequence where the Spurs got like 3-4 rebounds in a fucking row, and all of them took like bad threes. It was like, what is this?
Yeah, I thought the rebounding. It almost lost. We almost lost the game on the defensive.
You can tell Pop is kind of like just checked out, like more or less. He's just here, you know. It is what it is. Shout out to Pop. Pop only doing this right now because if he go home, he might take the big dirt nap. If he just retire, it's probably over for him. So shout out to Pop. But still, yeah, man. Look, you take the win. I was happy to see Zion. Them play with the effort, the energy on the boards. There was a lot of good putbacks. And real good credit to Dyson and Jose. Real good credit to Dyson and Jose, because I thought they really gave Wemby trouble. Like, to me, Wemby is slow as a motherfucker. Like, and that's something he's gonna have to get a lot stronger, because Wemby is slow.
At some point, I do want to talk about Wemby, because there's some interesting elements of the balance in, as interesting of a talent that he is, some of his strengths and weaknesses, but simply how the Spurs look to utilize him. And maybe in some ways it reminds me of early Anthony Davis in some ways in New Orleans, but we'll talk about it a little bit later. Lito, so to Chaz's point, they were the Spurs, or they are the Spurs.
Yeah.
Are you like, what do you take more from this game? The fact that it was a dogfight, and you were kind of beating yourself, like you lost the rebounding battle, you had a couple leads and lost, then lost them. I think you lost the rebounding battle 55-39. Gave the Spurs a bunch of different opportunities. You could argue that if the Spurs were even a little bit better, you lose the game. Are you taking more of the fact that regardless of the fact that they finally closed a game period, or is it the other side of, man, it shouldn't have been close to begin with?
I think it's a couple things. It shouldn't have been close to begin with, but I think, appreciate you. But I think when you find yourself in the middle of a dogfight, you just want to win the game. When it's all said and done, I appreciate the elevation and clutch play tonight. Again, it was an inferior team, but you gotta take the wins how you get them, I suppose. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, this counts in the win column. Now style of play, stylistically how they play, like they got out rebounded. They shot, I think they made 7 threes tonight, something like that. I think they shot 27%, some crazy.
26.9.
Jesus.
26.9. I think they could play a lot better, and they should play a lot better. Maybe they played down to the level of competition. Yeah. Maybe that's what it was tonight. I don't know. But look, Chris, let me say
crazy.
Well,
go ahead.
I wanna say this. I want to say two things. Shout out to Five, bro. I want to apologize to Jose. I feel like I undervalue Jose and his ability on this team. He is matchup dependent for sure, but the energy that he brings, you can't quantify it. And like, I agree with Five. He did quote unquote win you the game. It's hard to describe how important he is. Like he's an actual point guard. You know what I'm saying? He puts everything into play. And the other thing I want to say is, bro, I never blame referees. Like, I never blame refs. I never get into the refs were this, the refs were that. I don't let them affect the game. Dog, it was Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder out there tonight. They needed seeing eye dogs. They was terrible, dog. We shot 21 free throws. The Pels shot 21 free throws. It could have been at least 33. Like, Zion got fouled at least 8 times where there was no call. And like, and it's so crazy because the ref knew it was a bad no call. Zion got up and he was very demonstrative, and the ref was just like, "Nah, he good. Don't worry about it." He like, come on, man. Yeah, refs got to be better.
Ross, Toledo's point, that was also something that you mentioned before the show started about Zion just at some point just need to get a tech or get thrown out of a game. Go a little bit more into your thoughts on that and this battle that and I mean I've said it. I think I said it in year one. I don't think he'll ever be officiated fairly. Like it just won't. To me, it will never happen. But what do you think? Just going to your point more about him maybe needing to be more demonstrative or, a little bit more harsh with the referees, whether that results in a technical or complaints or and Edward styling, through the media or just simply being thrown out of a game.
It's more of he's got to demand respect because of the way he plays. It's easy for I think a referee to be like, like we can't get, because he's creating so much of the contact in a lot of situations. He's going to be treated different than these guys, ripping through and showing the ball. And it's just easier to see arms hacking across, whatever. But it doesn't change the fact that, there are nights that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander shoots 20 free throws. James Harden had a season where he averaged 15 free throws a night or whatever it was. Like Super LeBron, same thing. And LeBron's style of play wasn't drastically different than some of the things Zion is doing at this point. He's got to be more demonstrative in a sense of, I thought tonight some of the fouls that weren't called were just like almost boredom by the officials. Like, well, there was some contact, but whatever. It was exactly what you're talking about, where this guy's not being officiated fairly. Like, so what that he just went to the free throw line? He needs to go back. Like he's getting fouled, obvious fouls. Some of these are ridiculous. And like I said, I mean, I respect Zion for the way he can kind of control his emotions in those situations. I mean, tonight, I think Lito just said it. He got up once, especially on the dunk. It was just a clear foul. And he got up and he probably could have gotten a T on that one, but I think it was such a ridiculous no call that the dude was like, yeah, I better, whatever. I'll wear this one because I missed it or whatever. But I think in those situations, he probably needs to pick up a tech just to send something of a message that like, not going to continue to stand for this. I've got to shoot. I got to be at the free throw line a little more.
5. Who's it more on? Is it more on Zion or is it more on Willie Green to be the initiator of? I mean, I don't even know if you want to call it complaining, but sticking up for Zion. I mean, do you hold that responsibility more with the player or maybe with someone above him, head coach, David Griffin, whoever?
I think it's a little bit of both. If you wanted me to break it down percentage-wise, I think it's 60% Willie Green, 40% Zion. And if Zion, it's not like if Zion picks up a tech or get thrown out, I want him. This is just my opinion. I want him to physically assault a player. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna have to hit somebody. Like, you're gonna have to hit a player. You ain't gotta scream at the referee.
Yeah.
Once you hit a player, that changes everything.
I agree too.
Yeah. Not like punch, but like, yo, foul them hard like they fouled you. Like send that message. I think the league will understand that. But also from Willie Green's seat is, I remember before Shai Gilgeous started getting these free throws, his head coach came out publicly in a press conference and said, we are number one in drives. We do this, and yet we can't get free throw calls. We can't get calls. I know we're the little brother of the league. Like he said all of this. And like Shai's like first year there. And after that, free throw after free throw. He got fined. And I think Jim Hill gave Willie Green an opportunity tonight in the post-game presser. And Willie didn't take the bait. Like he stuck to the script for whatever reason. But like you have to protect your guy, like the main guy. He has to be protected in a way. Like, what was that? Stan Van Gundy after Zion got his hand broken or whatever the fuck it was. Yeah. Like, these are all opportunities for the coach to put, like, because those words, it's different than when a player does it. It's kind of holds a little bit more weight to it.
Five, let me ask you a question. Do you think it would even be useful in a situation? Because I don't think Zion's going to – I think it feels like he's only going to go so far during a game. What if he took the approach that Anthony Edwards took a couple of nights ago where just as soon as the game ends, he just says, it's clear as day, fuck it, give me the fine. The refs were trash tonight.
And did that after the first meeting and still didn't get the calls. And
Yeah.
that's my point. It's like it holds players are emotional, right? Like coaches are the one that have the, you know, they'll give refs a little bit more leeway. But you can't be soft as a coach because refs will just run over you. He's not gonna do nothing. He's not gonna tell me nothing. You know, you think you're gonna do that versus if Wemby gets hacked, you think Pop gonna just let it slide? How many times Pop's been thrown out in the first quarter or some stupid shit like that? Like, bro, what, like this is the game within a game, and I think Willie Green has yet to see that as being beneficial for his team.
So Ross mentioned a hypothetical post game setup for Zion. This is what actually happened and what he said post game. I want Chaz's thoughts on it and the conversation that will happen.
Like I said, a press conference a while back, I love this competitive shit. I live for stuff like this. So playing in games like this is a lot of fun.
Look, man. It was funny. Zion's like, I don't know, man. Everything just seems so contrived that sometimes. And it's just like, that could totally just be how he is and who he naturally is. And it's almost like he's like, is it okay? Like, you know,
Can I curse?
I almost feel like, bro, if just be like that all the time. Like, just adopt that personality. Just adopt this form of playing. But see, here's the thing. When you got Chaz, come on, it's the weekend. I'm gonna let Willie live. Fuck all that. You got this weird ass cornball soft motherfucker here. He just enables all kind of bitch assness on this team, all kind of this whole behavior, and I'm tired of it. I'm fed up. It's exasperating. You just be like, yeah, he did this tonight. Tomorrow he might get 6 shots. Like, you know what I'm saying? He gonna get right back out the game at the 6-minute mark. Willie gonna pull him to the side. Like, hey, I heard you say you curse. Next time say shoot. I love this competitive shoot. You know, to say stuff. Because Willie's a fucking chump. He's a fucking chump. And he just enables so much chump ass behavior. Zion should have had a couple texts tonight. It looked like he was trying to get one, you know, and to the refs' defense, you know, they kind of were. I've seen refs be patient. I don't know what he's saying to these refs, but I've seen the refs be patient. But to me, that's Willie's job as a coach because, again, you're not the X's and O's guy. You're not really in charge of rotations. I don't really know what you do. So at least if you're going to be like the mascot or the figurehead, at least be like the enforcer on the sideline. At least hold the refs accountable. Just do fucking something. Just do something.
Chaz, before I go to Lito, give me an example. If you were William Green, my former client, what would you say? What would you say to a referee after Zion's been clobbered for the 8th time in a row?
Oh, you really? He ain't gotta go pocket 96 on motherfuckers. All he really gotta say is like, come the fuck on. I know you see this shit is happening every fucking time. Like, you say this a couple of times, it's gonna get your point across. It's gonna get. But
I need you to say it in a way that Willie would say it, because we know he's not gonna curse. So, what's the best way in Willie's demeanor to get a technical and stand up for Zion? How would you do that?
Okay, let me see. Look, I'm gonna give them guys a lot of credit. They playing physical as heck down there, but we need some calls. God dang it! Come on, their hands are all over him. I wish that was me out there. The hands are all over him. He's flopping on the floor. Come on, I'm trying to protect these kids. Come the frick on, man. What do I gotta do? Like, that's just kind of like this.
That's not getting the tea. That's not getting the tea. Like we've talked about this a bunch of times. Like, I don't think he can. I think I've seen him get one.
He got thrown out once,
and it was that one where he was kind of on the court and he got pretty demonstrative. But like, I think if he doesn't come on the court, he can't. There's nothing he can say in his like traditional vernacular, that's going to get him attacked. He ain't got it.
No. Elvin would owe so much fucking money to the league right now. Like Elvin Gentry, Elvin Gentry be on that Mad Dog 2020. He would be
that OD.
That OD. Elvin Gentry would be in the red right now.
Red
Those that don't know, huh?
Oh, it's just like, come on, bro.
Two things, chat. Y'all in here. If y'all have not already, please find the like button. Do something with it. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. It's been what, 25 minutes now. It's time. It's not gonna happen. Respectfully, it's not gonna happen. But need y'all to do that second thing. We need more impressions of what in Willie's Green. If you were Willie Green, what would you say to get a technical to stand up for Zion or anybody? Come on, man. We need those in the comments. Lito.
Word.
What do you think about how the minutes were managed tonight? I thought it was a solid performance by the staff. I don't remember Jonas playing much in the fourth quarter, but then I looked up and he had 27 minutes. That makes sense because Larry was out, and I don't think Cody Zeller played in the second half at all. I don't think those minutes were all that great. Shout out to Justin, but that's just me. But we talked about Jose already. Chaz brought up Dyson Daniels, and simply as a deterrent for Wemby in the post, there were a few times that the ball was thrown on to Wemby. Dyson was there, and he ended up passing the ball back out. But what do you think in total about how the minutes were managed? And the coaching staff's overall performance tonight?
First of all, though, you said some other guys were the official lawyers of the show, and I thought me and you was the official lawyers of the show, so that's a little crazy.
You want to talk?
Nah, y'all are the official lawyers.
We not. But my client, once again, my client got 11 minutes. He got 11 minutes, man. Hey, look, let me say this. Dyson played excellent defense on Wemby. It was kind of weird that I just thought Wemby, I'm seeing Dyson not let Wemby get to his spots. He passed the ball out 3 times when he had Dyson posted up. I just felt like he could have just turned and shot over him, but for whatever reason, he just didn't feel comfortable shooting over Dyson. And like Chad said, he got to get stronger because I'm like, that's fucking weird. Listen, while Dyson played great defense, there were moments in the fourth quarter where I was just looking at the game like he don't belong out there. He just
oh my God.
He just does not.
No, I got the offensive possessions in my head right now. If you wanna go through, you remember when he was in transition late in the quarter? Well, no, I'm sorry, late in the fourth. I forgot what he did. Oh my, no, it wasn't the transition yet. I think it was either BI or CJ that threw him the ball. He was right by the paint. He pump fake, trying to get to the line, just threw some bullshit up.
Bro,
it was a 2-point game, by the way.
Bro, for as great as this man is defensively, his offense is just a negative, dog. It's like it's so bad. It's so bad. Because again, look. On one hand, right, you come down and you guard the 7'4" motherfucker with no problem, with no help. There was no help. Nobody doubled. He was like, nah, I got it. I'm going to lock this whole side of the floor up. And then on the other side, you dribble that bitch off your foot like you 3. It's like you ever watch kids play bitty basketball and the rim's low and shit, and they still lay that bitch up underneath the rim? And it's like, I don't know what's happening there, dog. Anyways, that was my problem with the minutes distribution. Other than that, Chris, the crazy part about that shit is Dyson was a plus 20 tonight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I know what my eyes telling me, and my eyes not wrong. I know what I'm seeing is not wrong. He played great defense. He had 5 assists, but man, offensively, he just stinks.
I did say that I want to talk a little. I want to talk a little Wemby, man. Ross. So Chaz mentioned how slow he is. Lito was confused to why he didn't use his height in some respects, having Dyson in the post. I see that and also see a team that desperately needs a point guard. Like the last play, for example, Devin Vassell gets him on a pick and roll. Wemby rolls. It's nobody there, and if they do get there, it's not a center. He's going to the line, or he has an easy Wemby's dunking from the free throw line. Just okay, just Space Jam style. So. What are your thoughts overall about Wemby and what you're seeing? I mean, what do you think about how the team is using him, the teammates, and just where his game is at, where he needs to improve?
Yeah, I mean, you already said it. He certainly got to get physically stronger. I thought it was weird. It's like some matchups he seems to take advantage of. It's probably just learning the game and learning how teams are going to change defensive strategies against you, learning how different personnel wants to try to maybe move you off your spot or do different things, right? 'Cause I find there are certain, I mean, if we'd have left Trey Murphy on him, he might have gone for 50.
Oh, yeah.
Early in the game. Because that was a bad matchup. He was clearly going to take advantage of that bad matchup. But then it seemed like Dyson was more physical with him. Kudos to Dyson. I thought you guys have already said it. I thought he did a really good job, especially just kind of fighting him. It's like Wemby doesn't want to put in a lot of effort down there yet. Like it seemed like if Dyson or whoever was guarding him, I mean, that's not that bad. I mean, you don't want to put on that much effort down there yet.
You just gonna say it again?
No, I mean, that's a tough. I don't know if I'm
foot on the line.
That's fine. But it seemed like if you were willing to kind of fight a little bit with him, he'd kind of give it up. Pause. Because even there was once late. I mean, I think it was late in the fourth quarter, maybe, where they dump it down there to him, and he just dribbled it straight back out.
Yeah,
I don't really see him as like a back to the basket player at this point, unless he's so far under the rim that it's kind of just a turn and put it up. I think he wants to play more on the perimeter. I really do, or at least in the mid to high post, or at the elbows. That team's not set up. Look, they just drafted him. They got this roster of sort of odd parts. They definitely need a point guard. It's the one thing where, and I know Chaz kind of addressed it earlier, but like the Spurs aren't a good team right now. They're not. This is not a good roster. It's not a very strong team. Does that mean we're supposed to blow them out? No, because it's the NBA and anybody. I thought they kind of shot the ball way too well in the first half, and I think that's part of the reason we kind of came back in the second half, because it's just unsustainable. But I think once they get the right pieces around them and they're able to spread the floor out a little more, you may see a different player. But I don't see him as some traditional like dump it down to. It's the same arguments we had with Zion. Like if you just go put him down there on the block, I don't think that's the spot where he's going to be most successful.
Mm-hmm.
5, any thoughts?
On Wemby?
Yeah.
I think he does need to get stronger. I mean, you're grading this kid on a bad team. That's why I think Chet's going to win the Rookie of the Year award, just because he's on a better team. And to be honest, I think he's a little bit better. Like to be honest, like if he had Dyson Daniels on him in the post, like he's killing Dyson. Like it's not even like oh, this is a mismatch. I mean, he smoked Larry. Like he put him in the blend. Like so, I think there's levels to it, and I think he will be good. But I just think the Spurs, they don't even run plays for him. I mean, half the time those guys don't even look for him on alleys or pocket passes half the time. Like so, I think he'll be good. But the Pelicans could have and should have won probably by 20. But to be honest, the Spurs probably could have and should have won by 20 as well. I did want to talk about the coaching staff, to be honest. That was actually a point for me. I don't think they were bad tonight. I thought there was something at the end of the game that actually made sense. They had the ball in CJ McCollum's hand, and they ran a double screen with Brandon Ingram and then Zion. I think Zion first, and then Brandon, and it rolled. Eventually, CJ kind of tried to get to the rack, kicked it out to Brandon. Brandon swung through, and then it was a pass to Zion. Just having them in the action allows for mismatches and things to occur where two might go with one, and then that leaves Zion Williamson wide open at the rim. That may have not been the shot that they drawn up, or it was gonna. But the fact that you put your three best players in an action just finally makes sense. It's something we've been asking for. Finally, we got to see that, and I thought that was just a good thing to see. So I just want to give him credit there. I thought Najee Marshall played well too. I thought the rip on Wemby was clean.
It was.
But, I thought he played well. I thought there was good moments for him. But the slow starts kind of aggravate me a little bit, a lot. You can't continue to. You shouldn't depend on Jose Alvarado and Najee Marshall to bring energy to your team just so you can be ready to play. That shouldn't be a thing. Now, it should be a bonus that those guys come in the second unit and bring energy to your team. But to depend on it, that's an issue. That's a problem. And I don't know what they do to fix it. But it needs to be solved quick because that's been a pain point all year.
Hey, Five, question. When you said that Chet is better than Wemby, do you think Justin is listening to that? Do you think Justin has anything to say about that?
I hope Justin understands, like, Wemby probably will be better than Chet, maybe, but as of right now, Chet is definitely better than Wemby.
Hey guys, be sure, man, find a like button. Do what you do. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I don't know how many people are in here. I'm sorry, it's 281. I don't know how many likes we have, but I'm more than sure it's not enough. Y'all take care of that. Look at Justin. Accountability. I appreciate that. That's what we take care of. Look, quick word from DraftKings, and then we're going to get to some questions with Chaz and talk about some of the things that Five was mentioning about addressing some needs going forward. I mean, we got to become Pro Pels trade talk at some point. It's what we do best, man. Bread and butter.
Looking for a super offer for Super Bowl 58? DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered. New customers can bet on the big game and turn $5 into $200 instantly in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code BOOT. New customers can bet $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 58 with code BOOT. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Bonus bets expired 168 hours after issuance. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms.
That was a word here from DraftKings. Game Osborne, appreciate that. We're gonna go to some comments here. If you guys want your comments started and brought up there, please leave something interesting, nothing boring, and then maybe get up here and we'll start talking about it. Taz, first thing here. Please no more talk about Hawk over Jose. And he's yelling when he says that. It's not in caps, but the exclamation. Taz, what are your thoughts?
Damn. Respectfully. Respectfully. See, it's like when you mess with a chick, right? You got a good looking chick and you got a chick who about, 4 or 5, old, I don't want my partners to see this chick type person. When you dealing with a chick who like a 4 or 5, like, 3, 4 in the morning after the club closed, that ain't a chick you go, like, you won't wake up in the morning to this chick. That's somebody you in there 30 minutes and you leave the same night. You don't fall asleep because you got to remember, the more you lay up with this chick, you fall asleep at her house, you waking up eating breakfast and all that, kids calling you Mr. Chaz, all this shit. You gonna fall in love with this chick because you sharing intimate moments with this chick. Y'all like the same movies. Y'all going to dinner. You don't fall in love with chicks like that. Like, that's a chick that, it's Friday, it's 3 in the morning. Oh shit, she answered. Somebody gonna answer. Cool. it's a very situational type of thing, right? If it's up to me, I don't give a fuck what Jose did tonight. You would never see Jose again. Jose would be the Spurs need a point guard. Jose would be competing with San Antonio with Trey Jones for minutes right now. If it's up to me, because enough is enough. Enough is enough. Like I've had enough. Enough is enough. But that's it. Enough. Respectfully. Enough is enough.
Before we go to the next comment here, anything to add about after hours decisions?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we can talk.
Selections.
We can talk.
Roster choices. Time and place for said roster.
Look at Ross. Ross likes move on, guys. Ross, man.
We all got a pass here, man.
We can go.
Ross gonna be in that damn piano top. That's me. Sneak you.
Oh God! This show was also brought to you by Crystal Hot Sauce.
Hey, before you go to the next one, I do want to talk because I agree with Chad. Like, there's been a lot of stuff in the chat about Jose this, Jose that, Jose. Like, you can't just look at like Jose tonight. Like, this is peak Jose. This is as good as it gets. And I think we've all said this, that like there's a time and a place for Jose, and it's very, very specific, and it's not very often. And I think you even saw Zion allude to it. You heard AD allude to it a lot. It's like, good on Jose for staying ready, because I thought he played great tonight, and I thought we needed him to win the game tonight. That doesn't mean that the next game Jose needs to be the first guy off the bench. That's like, you've got to, that is, I can't emphasize that enough. Like, if Jose is the first guy off the bench in the next game, that's a bad outcome of tonight. That means we didn't learn anything. We're just doing something we shouldn't do. I thought him letting Jose close was smart. I really did. I thought he changed the game tonight. He was great. That doesn't change the fact that we've now seen enough of Jose to know what he is and what he is not.
Ross, do you? I mean, real quick before I move to the next question here, do you believe that this staff just has a tendency to fall in love with role players?
Do I think the damn answer to that question? Willie loves it. Willie loves a role player because that's what he was. He loves a guy like that stays ready, tough guy, a lot of energy. Like, that's what he wants. And it's not a knock on Jose. I need to scroll up. I don't know who just said it. Somebody just said Jose is a break glass in case of emergency. If somebody could find that, that is exactly what Jose is. And tonight we broke glass in case of emergency, and he came in and played great. Good on him for staying ready. That's how he stays in the NBA for me. If we've seen what the offense and what the team looks like with Jose getting 20 minutes a night as your backup point guard, that's not a recipe for success. So I just felt like, good on him for being ready tonight. I thought he played great. I thought he had some big shots. His energy was huge, but like, Jose still is what he is. Let's not let one game turn this into some big thing. Like, oh, we have our game man. I saw people referring to Jose as a game manager earlier. Like, stop, people. Stop.
Jose Baker Mayfield.
Chad.
Yo, like,
oh,
no. I was gonna say, like, to say the statement that, like, we need to stop talking about Jose Hawkins over Jose, like, all together. Like, that's crazy. Like, to me, I agree with everything they just said. Right? If you look at Jose's ceiling and you look at Hawkins' ceiling, like, what are we doing? Like, what are we playing for? You playing for the future? Like, this is what we should be working towards. And that's not a diss to Jose, but Jose is who he is.
Chad, do me a favor. Ross mentioned breaking the emergency case. I need you to break the like button. It's still not enough. Like, the amount of people in here to like ratio is a little bit off. Y'all fix that, man.
It's free. Like, what you think? Like, you ain't asking.
Cost you nothing.
Yeah, just hit the button. It's real
Cost
quick.
you nothing. Lito, running it back here. What do y'all think? Just from my dog, what do y'all think that they're guaranteed a push over NBA team? Y'all sound ridiculous. These guys are hoopers. The Pelicans had the Celtics beat and choked. Celtics is a good team and lost to the Lakers. I'm assuming that's what he meant. Lito, what are your thoughts?
Miles, you saying the Pelicans aren't good? because that's what it sounds like. Dog, they won 10 games. They're a 10-win team. You're not supposed to struggle with that, dog. It's like like Chad said, it's 3 a.m. They don't have real lookers to do nothing with at the end of the night. You gotta do what you gotta do to secure the W. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna tell nobody about this W, but at the end of the day, yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna win. I'm thinking I'm gonna win because there ain't no other competition on the floor. You supposed to have the better talent. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. What you mean? It's a 10-win team. What are we talking about?
Appreciate Sean there and Joe again. Let's go. 5. This is
shout out King Sean, man. If you run into any of us during Mardi Gras, holler at us.
Appreciate you, dog. 5. Question was seeing Dyson play defense and heard about. Does the team look better with one great defender on the floor or 2?
Bro, stop comparing Dyson there, bro. Stop, bro. Like, y'all know Herb is here. Dyson is like, it don't. Defense does not necessarily matter. Like, okay, we get it. Like, I would prefer offense over defense anyway, but it works at times. But it's not like a recipe for success to play 1 or 2. Like, defense is a team game anyway. If you got one defender out there, you need the other 4 to just be competent, right? Like, we've seen a team with Anthony Davis and Drew Holiday at their peak, and they still were the bottom 3 defensive team. So what are we really trying to explain it? Like, Dyson, like Jose, has a role, very specific. It is game dependent. Herb can play any night. Like, I wouldn't, whether it's Dyson, whether it's Herb, like, you can't put all your eggs in the basket with them playing. I think those minutes have to be. You can't have them playing in the last 5 minutes of a tightly contested game, and then they blow the lead. Like, that happens way too often. So I think you just do better with just saying, hey, Herb's out there with shooters and Zion and Brandon, or Dyson is out there like tonight with Zion, Brandon, and CJ. Like, I think there's more so interchangeable there rather than anything.
Chat, we're getting to as many questions here as possible. All of these aren't necessarily questions, so whatever y'all got, let's answer them as we get to 48 minute mark of the show. Ross and then Lido, but I'm gonna start with Ross here. Thoughts on Trey Murphy tonight?
Bad again. I thought he was bad again. He's struggling. He's struggling.
Yeah.
I thought I was optimistic. I don't know if it was the first or second possession. I think I put it in the chat. I want to say it was our first bucket where we kick on a rotation, kick it to him at the top of the key, pump fake, fly by, takes 2 dribbles and shoots a little floater. I was so happy to see that, not because I don't want Trey Murphy shooting 3-pointers. Obviously we do. But it was nice to see that on his drives, there was a plan. 2 dribbles straight into a floater, not a one uncomfortable dribble. What the hell do I do? Not kind of just recklessly going all the way to the rim with no plan. I thought that was a positive progression. And then I thought pretty much everything that happened after that was bad. I still think he's just lost defensively, although does seem to be giving a little more activity, but lost defensively. I think the whole Trey as a center, even for very short increments, is a disaster. When he's not shooting, I mean, when he's not making shots, it just doesn't look all that great. I think we're all giving him some grace just because we know he's coming back from an injury. He's trying to kind of find his way on a team that looks different than it did the last time he was here.
Yeah.
Healthy, right? With both Zion and BI healthy and CJ healthy. It's a different team than it was last year when he had more responsibility, more freedom, more touches, everything. So I think we're all giving him some grace to let him work through this. But I really think this last month or so he's been bad.
Really curious to see what he looks like post All-Star break. 5.
I just to that point, like, I still think he's like, you could say that Trey's been awful, just like on offense, and let's say Dyson's been terrible on offense as well, right? Like Trey's still more valuable on the court than Dyson is.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Like
I'm not. Yeah, I agree.
I
With
know,
you.
I know. I just want to say, like, if you even look at the last play, Wemby has to stay glued to Trey just because he's out there and he's not even shooting well. Like, let's give him some grace. I think he's kind of earned that grace as he should. But man, it's tough coming off an injury. It's tough, like trying to figure this shit out. It's tough when you know you got a damn contract looming over your head and you trying to play through it. And I thought tonight his mindset was like, okay, if I can't make a three, let me try to get some easy. Let me try to get to the free throw line. There was one time where he just over dribbled a little bit too much. Like these plays, like he got to work through it. I think this was a good game to work through it versus a really bad team that doesn't really have interior presence. It just didn't work out. I thought he was better than the last, but still isn't Trey Murphy yet.
Hey, say Chris.
Huh?
I was just gonna say that just to add on to Fav's point, and I agree with that. I think the game. I think Trey's overthinking for one. He's pressing. It's little things he could do to make his time on the court more valuable, right? Like rebound. Like your shot not falling, like get a rebound. He got a couple steals tonight. Like maybe get a couple assists. Like you know what I'm saying? Like just ease yourself into the game. And I think, obviously once he finds his legs, his shot is gonna come back to him. But for right now, he's just pressing.
I thought his best play tonight actually was a great pass off of a drive to JV. The JV just goofed a layup, a middle school layup, where Trey kind of came down the right, a great dish on the drive to JV, and he missed it. And you could even kind of see Trey after, like, it felt like he finally made a good play, and not going to get sort of rewarded for it as in the stat sheet, but yeah.
And to Fav's point, I mean, do you guys like he's shooting 78% from free throw line? He's shooting 35% from three. Like, anybody has to believe that he's played 23 games. That's not going to be the consistent. I mean, I don't think he shot 78% in college or high school. Like that's going to change. And to I think Lito's earlier point, or it might have been 5, I don't remember. But this looks, he doesn't have his legs right now. And I mean, you can point that to injury. You can point that to just him just finding rhythm and getting back, playing competitive basketball again after having such a layoff, but being ready, at the highest point, having to start all the way over from ground zero, takes a lot.
Just my last point on this. His only three tonight was a skip pass from Najee Marshall because Zion cut, and he had no time to think about it. And to Lito's point, like he had no it was just natural. That's what happens when you can play with instinct and he's overthinking. You see every shot he takes, it's like he's thinking about it. When you should have already you should already just process it and do it. Make or miss, it still should feel good that you're doing it, and he's just not there yet at this moment.
Let's move to Chaz here. This from Trey Slenderman. Do you have to get a star return for BI or multiple role players?
I think you can get multiple role. You trading a role player, like we trading. Fuck, I'm keeping $1. You trading a role player with star clout, like you know what I'm saying. I think you could get. It depends. Like for example, if you're trading for a Michael isn't a star player, but one would argue he's a superior player right now based on contract. Him shooting threes, the numbers are about the same. Better defensive player. Brandon's obviously more talented than Michael, but accomplishments in the league are accomplishments. It depends, right? Honestly, and this is for me. It's for me. I just want to get off the contract at this point. I'm to the point where I just want to avoid that contract. I see what's happening with Zach LaVine. I just saw what happened with Pascal, and it's just like all the signs are there. Like, you got national people like Zach Lowe saying the Pelicans are paralyzed. Then today is another Zach Lowe sound clip where it's just like, I don't know, man. Like everybody confused. And it's like, they're confused, but they're scared to say what the problem is. It's like they know what's happening, but no one wants to just come out and say like, "Yo, this is going to be an issue because of this." It's just I don't know, man. I think if you can get some young talent, like if you got Jaden Ivey and Bohan, to me, that's a great deal. Like Bohan and maybe first or two, to me, that's a great deal. I don't even need Duren in that trade. Just I want to avoid that contract because shout out to my dog Kai, 19 points on 15 shots. And Scoot, somebody put that up there. Yo, Scoot had like 35 and 3 on 14 shots. He took a 3 at the end of the game because like they were trying to come back. This motherfucker shot before that, he was shooting 42% on the night from 3. Like 11 or 12 from free throws. It's like he ain't gonna cost you $55 million. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I hope that answers your question straight, Slender Man.
Ross, why these dudes, Zion, Larry, and Jonas won't dunk the bitch instead of missing them whole ass layups?
Yeah.
I wanted Zion to punch that bitch on Wemby.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
That is a good question, and I don't have an answer because we all sitting here saying the same damn thing. That when JV missed the layup that I was just talking about on the pass from Trey, it just makes my stomach hurt. Like, what the hell are you doing over there next to the damn inside the block, and you over here like doing some high school girls push shot trying to hit the square? Take a step, put your big ass shoulder into the dude, and just dunk it out. Zion sometimes are weird because he's just trying to get to that left hand. It's like it's hard to. Feels like he's always kind of coming from the right side to the left. Those are tough to asking him to dunk a lot of those. But JV drives me nuts. There's some down there where you under the damn basket. It's harder to lay it up. Like there's times where it's harder to lay it up than it is just to dunk it, and he won't do it. I'm with you. Endangered to international. I don't have an answer. You sound like you're clearly kind of frustrated about it. So am I. If you figure it out,
Larry the worst. Larry the worst with it though.
Oh yeah. Larry will yam it sometime, but he can't make a layup better.
Bro, he be trying to finger roll that shit and it just don't go.
Or Zion caught the ball a few times today. Power dribble instead of just going straight up. You know what I'm saying?
I thought Zion was about to dunk on Wemby like 6 times. And he'll go up with like the gather, everything. It's like, oh, he about to yam this bitch. And just go off the glass. I'm like, what are you doing? Just dunk that shit. What you doing? I don't know.
All right, y'all. We got about 15, 20 minutes here left. Please, before it's all over, find a like button. Smash it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, see, gotta keep people off balance. This is for 5 from Denzel Allen. Do you think Zion playing so many games has any impact on refs not giving him calls? They don't view him as a star.
Like a few games, I'm assuming over his career.
Yeah.
Nah, I think it is difficult to ref Zion because anything could be a foul, right? And I think Chris, you said this. I think in your opening was like Zion isn't like Shea where he's extending the ball out and you can see hand over arm or something like you don't see that. Now it's like he's fine. I think in the last 3 games he's actually not I think he's embellishing a little bit, right? Like a little bit more screens when he gets bumped, or you can hear him say or I got fouled, and I think his numbers are indicating where there's an uptick in free throw attempts, but that's earned. I mean, I know y'all saw me in a referee shirt, but like it's earned. Like I'm telling you, cats know like, okay, this is the guy, but you kind of got to go through the ringer, and those, especially those old school refs, like, nah, bro, it's gonna take some time before you get calls with them. It ain't gonna just be a week. Nah, it's gonna take about a year. Right, or it's gonna take a.
Thank you, Lindsay. My bad.
No, it's all good. It's gonna take a coach coming out and just saying, "Hey, my guy's a star." Matter of fact, the fucking coach in Toronto said Scotty Barnes was a star and he should get calls. Like, this is all the game that you have to play. You think the referee is not paying attention to post-game press conferences? You don't think they see that shit on Twitter? Like, it's the game that you got to play.
Lito. This from Kai. Kai, I think we all have had interactions with him on Twitter. Kai, my dog. Lito, this for you. I don't care if Zion unprofessional and a fuck up. You figure it out. And if you don't want to get in line behind his immature ass, you gotta go.
I mean, we all know some fuck ups who talented. You know what I'm saying? And at some point, you know what I'm saying, you just pray they figure it out. But the thing is his ceiling, the unknown is so fucking great over there that you kind of like, I can't just give it up. You know what I'm saying? I can't let it go. Pause. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, that's a little crazy. That's a little crazy. Man. I can't trade Zion. Like I can't. Like, bro, Zion is so frustrating because realistically, we wouldn't even be in a situation between like this civil war power struggle shit that, you know what I'm saying, they like to do online. If Zion would have just took this shit serious from day one, right? If he'd have took it serious from day one, what?
You see, buddy, Mark gotta go. Y'all gotta kick Mark out.
Whoa.
What's happening here?
Wow.
I'm in the start.
Y'all gotta kick Mark.
Let me see. Oh wow, Mark. I gotta put you in timeout, Mark. I gotta put you in timeout, Mark. You'll be back. I ain't mean to ban you.
That's
Zion got that good.
That's insane.
Nah, listen, man. If Zion would have if he would have took this shit serious from day one, like it wouldn't even be a conversation, bro. But I just feel like, yeah, man. I agree with Kai, man. Like you can't just give up. You can't. You got to figure it out. You pray you figure it out. What?
Lito, because at the end of the day,
like I said, a press conference a while back, I love this competitive shit. I live for stuff like this. So playing in games like this is a lot of fun.
Can I say this? Can I address this real quick? Because it's a two-part thing, right? It's a two-part thing. Wait, first of all, shout out to our dog, Joe.
Joe be going crazy.
Joe, thank you, bro. Appreciate you.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, Joe. It was something my dog said, right? It was like, my dog, to a large degree, you're right. But this is what you're really saying, because sometimes people say things and they don't really know what they're saying. What you're saying is Zion's fault that we stuck with this bum. That's what you're really saying. If Zion was available, then B.I. would be somewhere the fuck else. You wouldn't have to worry about Willie Green and Griff and Brandon Wood bizarre relationship. You wouldn't have to worry about this. You wouldn't have to worry about paying a motherfucker that been in the league 9 years and got one all-star reserve to his name, $55 million, and potentially tanking your entire franchise for a decade to come. You wouldn't have to worry about none of this. That's what you're saying. You wouldn't have to worry about it. It's just like you're a bad parent, so your child's a crackhead. And it's like, yeah, if you was a better parent, your child probably wouldn't be a crackhead, but you still got to deal with this fucking crackhead. You can't worry about all the fuck ups you had as a parent. Your child's a crackhead. He's on fucking crack. He's on the pipe. So check it out. He's on the pipe.
This dude.
He's on the pipe. He's a fucking rockhead. You gotta get him out of here. What are we talking about? But we can move on.
Any of y'all ever seen Black Dynamite?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, that was great.
All right. I'm Black Dynamite. I sell drugs to the community. Y'all got some? we run out of questions, chat. Y'all gonna have to ask a few, or we getting the fuck out of here. So,
man, I think y'all should answer. They had a couple people in the chat who were saying like Brandon was an all-star or Brandon was a superstar, right? I think y'all, maybe anybody, Chaz, should
somebody
tell us the difference. Yeah, a couple people.
Yeah.
All right. Here's one. Is there nobody? Well, Ross, I ask you. Nobody in here, I think, agrees or thinks that the Pelicans should have had an all-star, right?
I don't. Yeah.
Right, but
no all-star.
Right, but if they had to have, well, if you had to pick one, who would it be?
I'd probably say Damn. See, because CJ had about 3 bad games.
I knew what you were about to say. I was about to say that
No.
too.
A week ago, we'd have said, we probably would have said CJ.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
If you
say
had to say at this moment.
CJ. I'm gonna say CJ just because he had that injury, and he should have been an all-star already at some point in his career. Should have been a reserve at some point. But it would be a charity all-star type injury replacement, low bottom tier all-star. But he deserved to be all-star. Yo, Kevin Durant don't brush his hair. Kevin Durant like don't know what grease is. Kevin Durant is a strange man. I don't even want to get into all the other stuff about Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant, bizarre guy. Like, so I don't want to go there, but yeah, I don't give a fuck what Kevin Durant think. To be honest, Kevin Durant don't play here. Kevin Durant ain't got a root for this team. Kevin Durant probably want the Pelicans as bad as possible so the Suns can win. Yeah, give Brandon all the money. Yeah. Probably Kevin Durant doing.
I like that question.
Oh,
but
ahead.
Ross, go ahead.
Go. We can go to the next one. We can go to the next one.
How would y'all qualify Zion's ceiling?
See, that's what I was trying to answer before. You don't know. You don't know what the fuck he could evolve into. You just don't know.
But if you had to right now, based off the information you have, is he tier A? Is he tier B?
Oh, you mean for his tiers?
I thought you were talking like a player.
Like ceiling or just currently?
Ceiling. Yeah, ceiling.
I think he's the second best player on the championship team.
I'll co-sign that. I think coming into the league, we want to say we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I would have thought, no doubt, he could be the lead player, a superstar player on a championship team. I no longer think that. I think he would need at worst a co-star, like a perennial all-star on the roster with him, and then the right pieces around him. I don't think he's a guy you just can run out there as your best player anymore, with spare parts around him and still just consistently make the playoffs and compete, the way you can, some of the other superstars in the league.
I think even if the player wasn't like better than him, I think you need a player that does other things at an extremely high level. Like you would need a player like that shoots incredibly. Right. I know we don't all like Trae Young on the show, but let's say in theory, let's say the idea of Trae Young, great pick and roll passer guy, defensively he's dog shit. But let's say the shooter the idea of the shooter of Trae Young, it would have to be a shooter. I say the idea of, not the actual, shit. This the idea of it. It would be like, you need somebody that can shoot like that can pass like that, somebody who probably can rebound, and I think I'm gonna say second most used player on the championship team.
5. Let me ask you something real quick. Do you if Zion walked over to you and was like, say 5, if you were me, what would you work on to take my game to the next level? Whatever that next level is. The first thing that you would tell him,
new coach. Yeah, work on getting a new coach. Work on getting a new coach.
Simply individual game.
You mean like we're talking about Willie Green 5, or you mean like on your off season?
No. Like if Zion asked me like what would be the first, I would say work on getting a new coach. Because that is the most detrimental thing to Zion right now, as I see. But if you're talking about skill wise, it'd be screening, ball handling, and he has to be able to shoot a midi. Like everything else, like you can finish cool and finish with your right hand on the right side, right? Like those would be the top 5 things I'd probably think about if I'm Zion, because you bring up an interesting point, right? Like if Zion would be the second best player on a championship team, but that's like really no knock to Zion. Mm-hmm. But it would be a Trae Young-esque player. And if let me just pick a player. Let me say a Michael Porter Jr. on the other side, right? Like that would be the trio that I would build my offense around, because I can shoot, I can get to the rim, and I can play make. All three players can play make. So, or some semblance of it. I think that's the route the Pelicans should take. I think you kind of have that in Trey Murphy if you're looking at Michael Porter Jr. or if you're looking at possibly Jordan Hawkins. I think he has to get better ball handling wise, but it all really stems from the organization, right? Like it has to be some kind of change there because schematically this team just doesn't make sense. It's not going to propel them. They should not be thinking championship this year. That should be out of your minds. Pelicans fans probably don't want to hear that, but that shouldn't be a thought to you right now because this team is not going to be good enough to be contenders. They've shown you time and time again they can't even close. They barely close games against the Spurs. Like, what makes you think they're going to be able to do that in 3 months? Just it doesn't work that way.
Can I add one point to that? I agree with everything Five said, especially about what he needs to work on his game. One thing that I'm concerned about that I don't know if he can add to his game because it's like an innate quality like you just have is his motor.
That's a good point. Oh, I thought you were about to say more.
I was, but then you co-signed it, so I was like, that was good enough.
Well, then look, I'm gonna throw the ball back to you here. Do you think that Willie's not progressing because these are the games he should be trying different things? Or am I wrong?
You want me to be honest here, Thomas? I think that Willie's not progressing because we ask about Zion selling, like what's Willie Green selling? How much better can Willie be? Right?
I love that question.
That's fire.
I love that question.
That's real.
I'm not sure that we haven't reached the ceiling.
I see like Sam Mitchell. Sam Mitchell won a Coach of the Year, and then
Zion and Sam Mitchell cool. He was coach at one point.
Yeah, yep.
Maybe until they he is head coach.
Yeah.
But nah, Sam an asshole, so I don't think this is the.
Brandon wouldn't. That wouldn't.
No, I'm gonna say.
What y'all think about that? What y'all think?
I'm gonna say Silas. I think Silas. Yeah, I think.
Steven
wait, that's the. What's one of the son who was crying?
Steven.
Steven.
Yeah, shit. Willie been crying for years now. He was ahead of the game. That's who Willie Green. Willie's a doormat. There's no more room for growth. He shouldn't have the job in the first place. He's a pushover. I'm not sure where you were going with that particular thing, Chris, as far as like when you were talking about the I don't want to say it because now it's gonna sound crazy. When you was talking about Sam Mitchell being a difficult person to deal with, I wasn't about to say, you was talking about the asshole. I wasn't about to say that.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you not doing that.
Oh, Mark back. Shout out to Mark.
What up, Mark? Welcome back, Mark.
Welcome back, Mark.
How did you get back in here?
I just put him on timeout. But where were you going with that?
Shout out to Mark.
That's crazy.
He got his mind right. Somebody else got something?
You put that man in timeout.
Y'all said Sam Mitchell, bro. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No. I was gonna say you said Sam Mitchell and you say Steven Silas. Like Steven Silas. Then he only had a cup of coffee in Houston. So, Sam Mitchell, didn't he coach KG and I forgot who else was on that team. Play with KG, but he didn't coach that team.
I don't remember him coaching them. No, because Flip was there for forever. He coached Toronto, and then he went somewhere. I think he went somewhere else. I don't remember where.
I think had to pass away to like leave the team.
Flip had to.
Look, his son took over after that.
Yeah.
Or somewhere in between that.
I think he had like a half season. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
I think that, in my personal opinion, I think that Willie has reached whatever ceiling it is for him. I don't think there's any growth or development left there for him. And listen, he might need a change. What's happening?
That's crazy. But let me ask you, why is that? Why and after you, everyone can kind of answer this, but why do we feel like that Willie has plateaued, that he can't? Because I mean, what has actually happened? You know, I mean, we have a couple overachieved. They should be at worst a playing team this year, right? Again, at best,
Yeah.
6 seed, 5th seed, whatever. But why do we feel like he's incapable of getting past this level as a coach? Wherever you think he is right now, why do you think he can't grow beyond that? Just as an individual.
No doubt. Say, Chris, let me ask you a question. Do you know what happened to the dinosaurs?
I don't like where this is going.
No, it's a serious question. You know what happened to them?
Outside of them eventually being extinct, I mean, I watched Jurassic Park a few times.
Yeah.
Live.
Yeah. You know why they
What
got
else?
extinct though? You know why they got extinct though? Because they couldn't evolve. They didn't develop. The ones that did, you look at
That's
alligators.
kind of bar.
You look at the ones that did, right? Alligators, right? They were some sort of, they took the water. They developed. They evolved. I don't see that type of evolution that has happened. When times get tough, what do? You fall back on defense. You fall back on
fight.
Well, I mean, you don't, obviously you're not fighting with defense. So
with force.
Compassion. Give them credit. But
Give them credit.
With that being said, like you look at people who've been in the NBA a while, right? I think that Willie, I think he's just stuck in his ways. I think how he got to the NBA and what made him last in the NBA is what he carried in the coaching. And I believe that, I mean, in 2024, you just really can't play the game like that. Furthermore, I think if you look at Monty Williams, who kind of had the similar, Monty kind of had a similar stubbornness to his coaching style when he coached for the Hornets, right? Yeah. Maybe Willie gets a second shot at it and he develops. Maybe he learns from this point, but I just can't see. I don't see anything.
I'd like everybody to answer that question, and then we can close out.
You got Ro?
Yeah, I mean, I like his ceiling for me is not an NBA head coach. I think we've seen enough. They brought in, we kind of kicked this around whether this was a Willie hire or a Griff hire, but they brought in the help. They brought in the person that was supposed to take you from I want to call it an incompetent head coach or a head coach that at least couldn't figure out what to do on the offensive end. But they brought that person in, and you've muted him, put him in the corner. Go sit down. We don't need to hear from you. And so that to me points to a stubbornness and a stuck in your ways where I don't see it progressing much. I see him as like maybe a college coach or an announcer, Kevin Ollie type or something like that. Somebody's I'm not saying that he's a bad. I think he's probably a very good assistant head coach, or I'm so sorry, an NBA assistant. I just don't think he's a head coach. I mean, he reminds me of some of the other guys that you've seen. He's going to be on an NBA bench for a while. It's just not going to be as a head coach.
And you think that's just naturally just who he is because he's stubborn?
Not everybody's cut out for it. You like being an NBA head coach takes some requisite skills. Either you're very creative or you're like a dominant personality, people person, or you really understand the game and you can manage the game for as a true professional, somebody that's always on top of those type of elements of a basketball. I just haven't seen an elite skill in any of those areas to this point, other than he seems like he probably understands what's going on the defensive end, and that's great, but that's just not enough to be an NBA head coach, in my opinion. What is your elite skill? What are you bringing to the table as a head coach? Chaz always talks about it. It's like, well, if you're not really great at managing the game and you're stubborn about opening up the offense, and we haven't been clever about getting our best players the ball. I was going to say in crunch time, but really getting them the ball at all. We don't run plays to get our specific skill set guys into open positions. Trey Murphy, Jordan Hawkins, we've played about this a million times. They just have to get whatever they can get, however it happens. If you're not good at any of those things and you're not an asshole, that you're going to put pressure on the media and you're going to put pressure on officials, and you're like, if you're not going to do any of those things, then what is he doing as the head coach? Like, what is his role? He's not great with the media. Like, if you like break it into these little silos of like, well, maybe he's really good at one of these things. I can't figure out which one it is. And we're 3 years into this.
5.
No, I agree with Ross with really everything, because I think we allowed him grace. We talk about Trey Murphy having grace. We allowed Willie Green to have grace because players are out, right? And that was he had to mix and match and try to win games, and the play-in thing kind of happened, and we were able to kind of right the ship a little bit. And you thought year 2, like, they take off. Like I had high hopes for him. I was like a huge fan, because I thought, like, okay, your big skill is one thing. His skill was, hey, I can energize my team. I can motivate them, because that was a huge thing. Because you can't really teach that, right? Like, no matter how, if you're not that person, that's something you just can't teach. But if that one thing you can't teach, you can't implement every day, it's not necessarily like a skill you can kind of depend on. It's not something we can say, hey, Willie Green's going to do this every night. Like, it doesn't happen. We grade players exactly the same way. So he got chance after chance. But if I'm listening to Griff in mid-January say, it's good that we can be, number 1 or top 5 and all of these metrics, but yet we can't convert those stats into wins, what does that actually mean? Well, he's not necessarily talking to us as fan base. He's really talking to Willie Green. I mean, I've said this in private to you guys, but in essence, like, he's not talking to us. And the fact that Willie Green didn't get an extension at the end of last season or now should alert us, like, yo, time's running out. Time's running out for him. And I don't know what his elite skill is on the coaching staff. I don't know. I don't know how it works. But I can tell you this. He hates the idea of a James Borrego offense, because you see it one day and you don't see it another day. That's a clear indication. Even when it works, that's a clear indication that the guy just doesn't want to do that. And if that's the case, Griff has to make that decision 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah. I think damn, I hate having to always go here with it. Willie Green's brought to kiss Brandon's ass. That's what it is. He's brought to kiss Brandon's ass. He's the cool substitute teacher. He's that teacher in 2024 teaching you how to write in cursive. You want to learn something that's going to get you ahead? Well, let's teach you how to write in cursive. He's here to pacify Brandon. They're a tandem. I've been trying to say they're a tandem without really putting Willie Green into it, but pause. But now I gotta just say, Willie, you're a part of the fucking issue. You're a part of the fucking problem. And it's not just about the Point Zion thing. To me, that's like the big picture issue, but it's like the minor issues. This is like, bro, you can't bend the knee, for a lack of a better term, to underwhelming players consistently. You can't consistently do it. Like, we've seen Jordan Hawkins we've seen him recently. So a lot of people, a casual person might presume this is always how it's been. No, Jordan Hawkins was away for a while because we had Jose running out there. Dyson Daniels was getting minutes over, probably just better lineups. You can't be elbow. Good one, Chunk. But yeah, it's just you just seen it consistently. It's no coincidence. And Bally's just not getting the memo, because Bally's still showing this Point Zion shit. This pregame, they were showing he just put up 153 points in Utah. It's like, I don't know if that's Griff trying to, I don't know what's happening here. I don't know if Griff's some Machiavellian motherfucker like that, but it's that tandem is so bad, and it only exacerbates Willie Green's shortcomings. Because it's like, okay, this is a bad brand of basketball, so you're starting at a disadvantage. You don't really understand time management during the game, so that's another disadvantage. You're a defense first guy in 2024. That's another disadvantage. So by the time your team starts a game, you're 3 steps behind already, and that's if this team is even healthy going out there. Plus, Brandon took 2 3-pointers tonight.
Yep.
You won the game, so no one's gonna really look at that, right? You got fucking non-shooters taking more 3-pointers than that, and it's just something that consistently, it's you can't even hide it anymore. Like you can't even hide it anymore, and I'm hopeful that Borrego, somebody grabs the reins, so we'll see a better product out there with or without Brandon. Because truthfully, if Brandon bought in, everyone will be happy. But since there's a refusal and he's working with this guy, it's too much for this team to ultimately overcome.
Hey, last point for real. What he just said, bro, Willie said 8 3-pointers he wants Brandon to shoot. And you've seen that number dwindle. And so it's like, bro, if you're not going to hold the star player accountable, I said this on the other pod, if you're not going to hold him accountable, why would anybody else listen to you? Why would Hawkins listen? Why would, EJ Liddell listen? And you see Willie fuss at the same people, Trey, JV, I can't think of anybody else off the top, but like the people that he needs to get real with, he don't do that. At least I don't see him do that. So
yeah, and I don't think you're going to see it. To be honest, I just think that's who the guy is. I don't know what's going on in the locker room, to be honest. But there just seems like a divide's happening. There's some semblance of what's going on, and he may not be the cause of it, Willie Green, but he's allowing it, and that's a bigger issue that we just we haven't really talked about.
It's funny because you got a situation where two guys are kind of threatening about their spots being taken, right? You got Willie Green with James Borrego, and you got Brandon with Zion, where it's like, well, I kind of been the man around here for a while now, and here come this new hot shot, because you got Borrego all in the videos, all in the records. Borrego is everywhere. Like far as like coming out of halftime, that used to be Collins, now it's JB every time. It's JB almost every fucking time. No more Fred Vincent. You know what I'm saying? It's JB every time. Then you got like even the pregame, it's like, oh, they still showing highlights from a game 3-4 fucking games ago. Like, oh, last time we played, Point Zion, we had this. And it's like there's a clear tug of war happening, clear power struggle going on between Willie Green and Borrego and Brandon and Zion. And I'm curious to see who wins this, because it's interesting to see.
All right, y'all. It was about, I think at its highest, about 300 people in here. Appreciate y'all as always pulling up here on a Friday. All the people that comment in the chats, all the super chats. Shout out to Lito Ross, 5 and Chaz as always pulling up. I thought we had five seconds of Lito pause, but apparently it's my turn to read. So we gonna do this church style, and I guess we're next show is gonna be somebody else. Right now it's me, and then we out of here. So it's like my daddy would always say, most nice things won't go your way. What you gonna do? Cry about it or fight about it? He says, son, we don't pout. The rent due the same day every month. Either barbecue or meal due. But like I always say, up until then, I'm going to be thugging behind a project building. Lord. Shout out to Juve. For everybody else here, for the chat, super chat, I'll let y'all.
Peace.